Just as across the country, there are many in Texas who get scammed on all sorts of different kinds of phone calls and texts and outreach over the internet, and lose in Texas probably hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So thank you for this legislation. And quite honestly, it's the kind of thing I wish we spent more time in Congress working on, things that really affect all of our constituents. So this legislation takes long overdue action to confront a disturbing and fast-growing threat. Transnational criminal syndicates, often backed by Chinese networks, running massive scam compounds in Southeast Asia. These operations defraud Americans out of billions of dollars, launder illicit funds across borders, and rely on the forced labor of human trafficking victims to operate. It's a toxic convergence of cyber fraud, human trafficking, and state corruption, and demands a whole-of-government response. I strongly support the creation of a U.S. interagency task force and the strategic tools that this bill provides, including sanctions, law enforcement cooperation, and support for trafficking survivors. But we must also make sure that abuses don't go unseen. That's why I'm offering an amendment that directs the State Department to expand access to satellite imagery for researchers and NGOs documenting human rights violations at these scam centers. These compounds are often remote, fortified, and shielded from press or outside monitors. But from space, we can track their construction, monitor activity patterns, and support investigators working to expose atrocities. This approach has been highly effective in trafficking human rights abuses in Xinjiang, North Korea, Sudan, and in Southeast Asia. With this amendment, we can provide the human rights community with tools to document and report abuses that would otherwise remain secret. Under this legislation, the State Department would reserve the ability to decide when and with whom the satellite imagery will be shared. I urge my colleagues to support both the underlying bill and my amendment. Let's send a clear message. The United States will not turn a blind eye to modern slavery, digital predation, and the exploitation of vulnerable people across borders. I yield back, Chairman.
Gentleman yields back.